The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Well, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to another Great Garment Graphics webinar. Today's webinar is Take Me Out to the Ballpark, Decorating All Things Baseball and Baseball and Softball, and that's what we're going to be doing today. Allison is with me today. How are you, Allison?
I'm good. How are you?
Very good. We do have a poll question to ask everyone before we start today's webinar, but I do want to tell everyone, and I told Allison when she got on with me that I wanted to tell everyone a funny thing that just happened to me. It's not actually kind of funny, but Allison is in a different facility than I am. So I was visiting her a little while ago. We were finishing up some of the video shooting that we did for today's webinar. Actually, we were doing a bat bag, which you will see. And I was coming out of her building, and the snow here in Michigan is just starting to melt because actually we got kind of a warm weather front going on here. So I'm not thinking that, you know, the snow that's out there is going to be slippery anymore, because I'm thinking, and I slid and I fell right into the street with a truck that was like barreling down on the main street. And I looked and I went, oh my God, this is how my life's going to end, by getting clipped by a DTE Energy at like a Consumer's Power truck. And he slammed on his brakes, and luckily another employee from a different building came out and helped me. And now I just realized I wasn't thinking about it, but before we just went on air just now, I looked at my leg and it's already turning complete black and blue. So that's going to be fun, interesting night tonight. So luckily nothing worse than that, but that was my story for today. So, and Allison,
wow.
No, yes, yeah. So you almost killed me coming over to see you. I'm just kidding. Okay, let's get started today. Okay, so we are going to talk about baseball today. And some of you had sent Allison and I some messages saying that you didn't know where you could type in questions to us and didn't know, how to do that. And it is on your, they call it a dashboard that you, when you log into GoToMeeting. So that little dashboard has an area for you to actually type in questions to us, which we absolutely love, because we either answer them live or Allison will type questions, the answers back to you. And that way, when we do have at the end, and today we do have another drawing for 4 of the items that you'll see us actually printing to go out to those of you that win, so that you have some display garments. So we want everyone to get used to where to type in the questions that you have to us. And Allison's going to first launch a poll so that we get a good idea of how many of you out there are actually providing baseball or softball items to folks. So Allison, if you could launch that poll.
Okay, I launched the poll, and it is, are you currently providing printed apparel or items to baseball teams? So please answer yes or no. Okay, a couple more votes and we should be good. Okay, so looks like about 91% of you voted, and I will share the results. So 61% of you are currently offering printed baseball or softball items, and 39% of you are not offering anything.
Okay, so we've got the majority, but we do have a good chunk of folks that are out there that are not offering anything to the baseball or softball teams that are out there. So, we're going to focus on items that you can just purchase straight from companies where you could just start decorating right away. And then we're going to focus on if you have a vinyl cutter and you can produce your own graphics in-house and how we did some of those items. And, you know, a large percentage of folks now have a mix. You know, there's so many screen printers now that, you know, screen printers and embroiderers that not only just screen print it or embroider or just heat apply, you know, they've got a vinyl cutter and they're able to, you know, order transfers from maybe a Transfer Express sort of company that just supplies them straight, you know, designs that they just have to heat apply, or, you know, they get roll goods where they're cutting their own. So a lot of it is a mix now too. So let's go to what we're going to do today. So the topics for today's webinar is, you know, what you can and what you should be decorating, even if you're not providing the actual team uniforms. And we get this question all the time. I can't break into the leagues. The companies that have been doing the local leagues have been doing it for 20 years, and I'll never get the business for the uniforms. And that might be so. And we hear that repeatedly. But I've also seen it where those companies that are just doing uniforms just do uniforms. And there's all kinds of fringe products, I like to call them because they're on the edge of the actual uniform, that you could be supplying. There's people in the stands that need wear, you know, from the grandfathers to the grandmothers to the moms, dads, siblings, uncles, everyone that comes out to the games, you know, to cheer on their baseball or softball player. You know, that's the type of business that you could get without having the actual team business. Is it easier to have everything? Sure, because you can use one design or similar designs and put it on something. But, you know, there are other opportunities out there, and we'll go through them as we go through the pages. Trends for 2011. We're going to talk about some of the items, and another thing that we've been hearing from everyone, and I saw this on CNN the other night too, is cotton is going through the roof. I think it went up 150%, and it has to do with flooding and weather in the United States and China and where the big cotton growers are. So t-shirts are going to start really increasing in price, which is going to push a lot of you that are doing baseball into more synthetic garments. Now, I know my son he plays spring ball, summer ball, fall ball, so he's a league player, and I haven't seen cotton on him, like true cotton shirts, you know, for a few years now. So mostly everything is polyester. And then how to offer different looks for different budgets, which we'll go through too. Now, what can you offer? These are just some of the things. This is 27 different things that you could offer. And keep in mind, if you're not offering the uniforms, you could be offering a lot of the different items on here too. But as far as uniforms go, there's V-neck uniforms. That is really popular. It's popular because you don't have to deal with button downs, because a lot of people don't like decorating through the buttons. But there's 2-button Henleys. There's traditional button downs, and now the button down jerseys, because they're in polyester, you know, don't seem that expensive anymore to do, and that's your traditional baseball look. The sleeveless is becoming popular. You know, they either wear Under Armour short sleeve shirts under it or a short sleeve t-shirt with the color of the uniform, but it's a sleeveless, kind of like a vest basically, that's going over baseball. Or a lot of the smaller t-ball players, you know, these are rec leagues that don't have huge budgets, and, you know, parents that want their little ones playing. So a lot of times you'll see just basic t-shirts. But the basic t-shirts still need to have the team logo printed on the front and the numbers on the back. If they're not going to do names and numbers, you know, they'll at least do the numbers. So that's what you can offer for uniform shirts. Now the bottoms, when it comes to baseball, one of the trending items now, you have your traditional bottom with the elastic, but if you're the 12-year-old and up set of kids, you end up cutting that because they really want the open bottom pants. That's what the big league players are wearing, and there's, you aren't even seeing the socks anymore. They're just full-length pants. And then, of course, that would be for baseball. And when it comes to softball, you're looking at shorts. So there's the difference. Traditionally, the baseball players are wearing the pants, and then when it comes to girls playing softball, it's all short sleeve tanks and shorts that go with it with visors instead of the traditional hat, which you're going to see today because that's what we decorated. Some of the accessory items, there's bat bags, batting gloves. Yes, you can apply to batting gloves. It's very easy to do. There's jackets. These are for the players. There's warm-ups for the players if they don't have jackets or a hoodie or a sweatshirt. There's the wind shirt for the coaches. There's hats. Now, I know my son had a baseball hat that went with this uniform, and then he had a baseball hat for every single team last year that he would wear as just spirit wear. So he ended up having, he was on 3 different teams, he ended up having 6 hats. 3 they never wore because they were just for games, and the other ones were, replica of the game ones that they wore for like fun wear. There's water bottles that you can decorate and water coolers because in the dugout, everyone's got water coolers, and you can put the team name on that with sign vinyl, which we're going to show you how to do on water bottles. So those are all kinds of accessory items that you could offer also. Then there's the fan items, which, if you're not doing any of this chunk, which is the team business, you can, offer some of the fan item. You've got t-shirts, you've got sweatshirts. It's, the kids will be playing here in Michigan starting in March, and their games will start like April 1st. And so I've been to games where I was sitting with a blanket and it's snowing, and they're playing baseball. So the cold weather stuff is still important. There's fan warm-ups, car decals. If you're going to be doing the water bottles with that decal or the logo, it's, easy enough to put right on the car too. Water bottles for the fans, banners, seat cushions. Those seat cushions are just polyester coated neoprene, most of them that you could get blank. Very easy to heat apply to. Folding chairs, those blue or red chairs that, are like stick figures, and then you just pull them apart and sit at the games. There's a back to it where you could have your kid's last name on it or the name of the team. So that's everything that you can heat apply. Wall graphics. There's companies such as Stalls and now Transfer Express that is, offering wall graphics with the kid's picture or him actually throwing a ball if a picture was snapped to get an actual wall graphic for it. There's fan hats if the dads or the grandfathers or the uncles don't want to wear a t-shirt or a sweatshirt, they can don a hat. And then there's soft coolers because you're sitting at the game, and those little soft coolers, very easy to heat apply to and put graphics on with the team name, and all the moms and dads tote them around to games. So here's, like I said, this is like close to 30 things that you could be offering baseball teams. Now, we're going to go through everything that we created here today because this is kind of breaking down what we just talked about, and we're going to show you how we created some of these items. Before we get into that, because everyone wants to know about cost, I'm going to, as we go through the designs that we made, we'll go through how much the designs cost, and you have to determine your labor because, yes, you're going to see us applying these things to items and how long it takes, and then you have to equate what your labor would be to that. But this is just the cost of blank goods that you see here. The bat bag here was $9. You could probably get this cheaper. This is just something retail and it's a youth bat bag. It's an Easton bag, you know, but the nicer the bag it is, the more you're going to pay, even wholesale, you know, if the coach insists on Nike bags or, you know, Under Armour bags or a Mizuno or what have you. But they have to have a bat bag, um, especially if your kid spends $300 on a bat, like someone I know that saved all his money last year to get the top of the line bat. But yeah, a bat bag's important. Batting gloves. Here's the batting gloves. These were $9. There's all kinds of area on the batting glove because you can apply to leather. You could use a CAD prints and apply right onto the batting gloves. Here's the water bottle. The water bottle was $3. You could probably get these cheaper because they're blank, and we'll show you how we put this on there. The visor was $2.50. The softball shirt was $15.90. This is a racerback Teamwork Athletic. And Teamwork Athletic, that's a great company to deal with, and you know we can easily publish that or let you know. And they are really on the cutting edge with all types of different uniforms, especially the softball uniforms for the girls. And they're doing a lot with the sublimated uniforms and racerbacks and things that the girls are really getting into. So, and the softball shorts were $15. And then, you know, we put the designs on it. So that was the blank goods. And we're going to show you the first thing that we did was putting the transfers on the uniform. Now, what we did, you know, Allison and I sat down and we said, well, we're going to need some for the shorts, and, you know, what if someone wants something for their pocket area? You know, we could use that same, this happens to say St. Clair Falcons softball, and I called up Transfer Express and I said, you know, we want one of your new designs for spring 2011. And, you know, you could pick whatever the team's going to be called, but we want to show people how they could save money and get, you know, multiple sizes on one gang sheet. And this is what it's called, ganging, when you have more than one. So this is a two-color design here, and I broke it down. Let me get my little pen so I can write on here. The two-color design would be $5.44 a sheet. And then you would divide your three designs into and get a design cost. Now, if you went with one color, if you just went with black to put on that pink uniform, it would be basically $3 a sheet, and it would cost you $1 a design. But every time you add color to something that is screen printed, of course, you know, you're increasing the cost. So that was the breakdown of getting our transfers. Now we're going to show you applying it to the uniform. Real easy. We put it on the shirt part, and then we changed the platen and put it on the bottom. Usually, you know, if you're doing these uniforms, you've got anywhere from 12 to 18 girls on a team, you know, so you do one shirt after another and then switch to doing the shorts. So let's, oops, sorry, everybody. Let me go back. I need to get, and I don't have it. Okay. Sorry, everyone. I need to get my flip camera going. And here's the video, and please ask any questions. This is putting a goof-proof transfer from Transfer Express, those transfers you saw, on the actual softball uniform. So let's stop right here. Allison is actually using the slide-out version of the Fusion, because the Fusion is a press that can swing away, or you could slide it out. And she's got it in the slide mechanism right now. So we're preheating. Preheating gets the wrinkles out, it gets the moisture out, it preps your shirt to get ready for the design. This is a nice shirt. It's got little swirlies on the side. And now she's putting the goof proof on, and it goes on at 360 for about 4 seconds. Real quick to do these uniforms. She pulls it out, pulls the paper off the screen printed transfer, and that is done. Now what we're going to do is we're going to show you how we did the shorts. And before I start this, you're going to notice, as Allison's reaching for a platen, that we're assuming that we're going to do 18 pairs of shorts one after another. The Fusion has the ability to take the platens off the bottom and switch it out with different size platens, because with the shorts you've got the bunching with the banding at the top, you've got a drawstring, you have the crotch area that's got all that seaming. It's really kind of hard to do if you've got a bigger design that's not going to fit like on a cap machine, which ours didn't, and you wanted to do shorts. So what we did is we took the lower platen off. I'm just showing you the little hole and how easy it is. And then Allison grabbed the small platen to be able to fit right on. And I think that's a 5x8. She'll tell me if it is or not. And then you just screw in 2 screws and you're ready to go. And so that's what we put the shorts on. These are kind of slippery. They slip around a little bit because they are polyester. And when you switch the platens on your machine, you do have to adjust for the pressure because the pressure is going to be a little bit different. So that's what Allison was doing there, is making sure the pressure was high enough. And we just cut apart our small transfers from the large transfer sheet. And Allison's just trimming some more of the paper away to make sure it's lined up properly. You put it back under the press. You press it for the 4 seconds. And then you're ready to take the paper off. So you got the matching design on the bottom of the shorts as you do on the actual tank. Love these shorts. Love them. The whole look is really nice. Okay, so we showed you how we did the actual uniform. Now we're going to talk about applying to the visor. And with the visor, we actually used a vinyl cutter and cut white CAD cut super film that comes from Stahl's ID, and to match the designs that we got that you saw. We thought it'd be a little bit too much overkill to have it on the shorts, the shirt, the hat. So we just wanted falcons on the hat, and this cost pennies to do. But we'll show you how we did it. Go back to so we cut it out of the super film, and I was doing this by myself, so I'm taping myself do this, which is kind of odd. But I did want to show you this, and this is something a lot of people don't realize, that there is a hinge holder in the back of the cap machine, the Hotronics cap machine, that pulls the back of your visor or your cap really tight so that you get a nice flat, smooth surface to heat apply to up here. So then I grabbed the Falcons. After it was weeded, we cut it and weeded it. And put a little cover sheet on it and heat applied it. After it's done, the machine will pop up by itself. And there I am just pulling the Mylar off and the visor's done. Very quick, very simple, very easy. Now we're going to apply to the bat bag. Before we do that, I'm going to just ask Allison if there's, any questions that, because I probably busy typing away, if there's any questions that we should address to the whole audience.
Well, we have a couple questions on placement, like how did we know where to put the transfers on the shorts and on the shirt?
Well, a lot of it has to do with years of experience, and I hate to say that. So, when Allison and I do it, it can look a little bit easy because we can kind of eye things and just put it down. You can get technical and, figure out how many inches away from the bottom, but really you need to take a look at some things that are printed, and once you kind of figure out how they're doing it and where they're placing it, you'll have a good sense of where to place it. With the racerback V-neck, it's going to be a little bit harder. You could place this up if you wanted to. Let me just grab my highlighter. A little bit higher, so you could have went up a little bit higher. But usually, this is good placement, and the way to always figure out if it's placed properly on your platen is you lay it down, and you've got to make sure that on this end and on this end, it's the same space that's either hanging off your platen on both sides to know that it's centered. Never go by the tag here. And then on the bottom, we know here's the seam. So we butted the paper up against the seam, and we put it basically halfway in the middle, because this is girls, between the leg opening. So it's kind of centered on the leg, and it's butting up against the seam here. And that's why Allison was cutting it to crop it close to go against the seam. What else do you have, Allison?
Let's see. And I don't know the answer to this question because I don't know what you called it. What did you call the part on the cap press that helps tighten the cap down?
To me, it's just a spring-loaded lever that is just a hold-down mechanism.
Yeah, I just didn't know what you called it. That was the question. What did you call it?
Yeah, it's just a spring-loaded holder mabob. No, it's just yeah. There's a technical word for it. I'll have to try to figure it out. Probably Hotronics.
I've always called it the cap hold-down device.
Yeah,
and that's what I've referred to it as.
But that's not sitting well with me. I think there's like an actual name for it or something, but we'll get it before we're done. Yes, I'm going.
Well, Lloyd says it's called a cap tensioner.
Okay.
I like it.
I'm for that.
Okay, and Tony says Stalls calls it a cap hold down device.
Yeah, that's what I thought. It's just a hold down.
That's kind of what I always kind of said. So
I'm glad we got some answers to that.
Let's see. Pretty much that's what we have so far.
Okay.
Pretty much answer from all.
Now we're going to get into the bat bag, and if anything whatsoever. You know, a lot of people look, and this says Easton on the other side of this bat bag. You're going to be very hard pressed to get totally blank bat bags. You know, it'll say Mizuno or Easton or any of the big, you know, Rawlings, any of the big baseball suppliers in the industry. Um, but that's not the issue. The issue is there's usually one side of the bag that is blank, and when they get bat bags like this, either the kids are getting all the same bag, and if they are, it's an absolute nightmare to coaches and parents because everything's the same and they're unzipping them to see what's inside, to see whose bag is what. Please do everyone a favor by selling folks the idea on getting their bat bag personalized. You know, they usually have a little clip on it so that the kids are clipping them to the chain link fences, you know, when they're playing. But having the name on the bat bag just helps out tremendously. And even the visors here, you know, you got Falcons, and we've got Becky on this bat bag. But these Falcons, there's going to be 18 girls that are going to have a Falcons visor, and they're all going to take them off, or 6 of them are jump into someone's minivan, and they're all going to look the same. So I would take and, you know, sell them on the idea of spending an extra buck. It's not going to cost you much, and put their names, you know, their individual names in the inside of the hats or the visors, because that's a big plus. So we're going to talk to you about how we did this bat bag, and we're going to go back to using the Fusion. And this bat bags in general, because they have this long protrusion to put the bats in, they're very cumbersome, hard to put on a heat press. If you can't change the platen on the heat press, you're going to be dealing with straps and zippers and all kinds of things. We're using the Fusion where, you know, we're taking the platen off, but the bat bag came out very, very nice. So let's go to that video. And what we're doing on the bat bags are usually made of some type of Cordura nylon or some type of nylon because they're thrown, they get dirty, they get dusty, they go through a lot. So they're usually made of some kind of higher denier nylon. So we're putting CAD Cut Gorilla Grip on it because that was made specifically to go onto nylon goods. So here's the bat bag in all its glory on the side that's not printed. And you could see there's straps going on. Let me just show you this because I was showing Allison that this whole area right here that you see is all plastic. So we had to be careful to make sure that we were just going to, you know, get the heat on the part that could withstand the heat, which is you know, the nylon part. And here even, you know, you could see the cumbersome part of dealing with this even on the Fusion. So here we're preheating it, getting it ready, the nylon. And now we're ready to take our design that we cut in Gorilla Grip. And each one of these we, you know, we would customize for the team, which is easy enough to do. If you're cutting out the St. Clair Falcons with the baseball, it's, you know, nothing to stick in each individual person's name that's on the team. And then this heat applied just for a few seconds. And then you do have to let this cool completely because Gorilla Grip needs to cool before you take the Mylar off. So we took it off the press and now we're putting it back on. You can see it has that little platen. And then Allison's going to cover it again, making sure none of the plastic bits are underneath the heat. And then you press for 10 seconds, and that finishes the application. And this bat bag, very inexpensive. To add the couple of cents that you would for the Gorilla Grip, was very inexpensive too. And, you know, yes, we have a machine that can allow to do a bat bag, so that's a plus, but how nice that is. It really came out really nice. That'd be a good selling tool to sell customized bat bags like that. Okay. Now we're going to show you how we did sign vinyl on a water bottle. And this will be a famous question that Allison will be getting, you know, people typing, so I might as well preface it before we actually start the video. You know, people ask us all the time, sign vinyl on a water bottle, you know, is that going to stay on? You know, people have sign vinyl on their cars, and the cars go through all kinds of weather conditions. So putting sign vinyl on a water bottle that is probably never going to see the inside of a dishwasher, because most people just, you know, wash them out in the sink, isn't going to be a problem. And I've got tons of water bottles that have just sign vinyl on it that, you know, have lasted years without any of the sign vinyl coming off. And besides seeing it on the water bottles, you could also use that sign vinyl, you know, to use it as the car decal. If you were going to use it as a car decal, you'd probably end up putting the Becky and the Sally and the Jane back in there, because people would want their kid's name on it. But these water bottles, we didn't put anyone's name, because this could be given to the kid, it could be sold to the parents or the spectator and the fans, so this didn't have a name on it. So let's go to the video and take a look at how we did that. So we cut sign vinyl. Sign vinyl is so easy to cut and so easy to weed and so inexpensive to do. You do have to, you know, you cut it in a positive. We're putting it on a bottle. So you do have to mask it to pick that sign vinyl up that you weeded, you know, the design away in. Now, if you start lifting it and some of it doesn't come off, you'll see Allison, she flips it over just to squeegee the back. So this is it and how it'll look on the pre-mask or the mask. And then here's the bottle. And all you just do is, you know, line it up on the bottle. And it's always good to work, you know, you work your way from the middle and then you go left and right. That way you won't have any bubbles or anything like that. Real easy to do. Of course, we didn't have the, you know, people, we do actually have real sign vinyl squeegees, but for the sake of time, we just grabbed a ruler. And then you just pull the mask off and your bottle's done. Oops, sorry. And we got a bottle that matched the uniform, and there you go. Now it's talking about creating fanware. And I wanted to do something with the CCH2O effect, which is using superfilm. And superfilm is, this is superfilm right here in a real hot pink. It's a regular heat applied you know, vinyl that you would put onto a garment and get true coverage. But if you apply it a different way at an extremely high temperature at 400 degrees and you peel it right away so that you're splitting the product from itself kind of in half like a hot split, you know, you get something called an H2O effect. And the reason why it's called H2O is because it's like weathered looking. It's vintage looking. It's that look that you see, you know, at the retail stores where it looks like it's a, you know, 20-year-old ink design. But we use that as the background, and then we put superfilm in a real hot pink right over the top. Came out really nice. And so let's take a look at how we do that. So this is super film on softball to go along with the softball uniforms that we did. So we've got the machine, and this happens to be the Hotronics auto open clam, and it's at 400 degrees. So we're preheating, getting the surface nice and ready to heat apply our design. So that is the baseball that we did, different than the transfers. So this is something that, you know, Allison had created in Corel. And you heat apply it. And it's hot. It's at 400 degrees, but that causes the splitting action on it. You could have a baseball player image in the background as like a shadow and use the H2O effect on it to do that. You know, you could do quite a bit of different things. And I like using it as like a background to a brighter foreground. So that was it, and that's how easy it is to split that and kind of get that worn-in vintage look. And then we cut up Falcons that was in that hot pink, so it'll pop on the front. And can you heat apply over the H2O effect? Sure you can. You don't have to worry about damaging that effect once it's done. Just the same thing as if you were to heat apply over cured ink that was screen printed. So you wait a couple of seconds because superfilm is kind of peeled warm. So you make sure that it's on there. And you could tell Allison's rubbing her hands over the superfilm we did in the H2O effect, and it's fine. Then when it, you know, is just warm and ready to be peeled, you just peel the Mylar off that. And then it's done. Shirt came out really nice. Love the wings on it too. Okay. So that is the Falcons with the H2O effect that we did. And now we're going to show you the bat bag with the Becky and the ball is the same design that we used for the water bottle that we put the Falcons logo onto. And that was all done in CADWorks Live to create the artwork for it because it's really easy to do. I'm going to get Allison back on with us and hand the controls over to her so she could show you how she created that really quickly.
Okay, we're getting lots of questions on the H2O, just like we always do.
Of course. Okay, let me make you the presenter, Allison.
Okay.
So now we're back. We're seeing your screen now.
Okay, so we're going to go into the CAD Designer, which I thought I was in, but here we go.
I'm done.
Okay, so the design that we made, for the water bottles, was St. Clair Falcons. And it really is just a clip art and a text effect. So I'm going to start with my clip art, and I'm going to click on my clip art tool in my library on my left-hand page. And I can go through, we talked about this before, but there's all different categories here. I can go into sports and try to find a softball, but it's just as easier for me to put softball in my search field up here because I know exactly what I'm looking for. And I hit on my magnifying glass, and here's my softball. And I'm just going to open that, and it's going to add it to my page. Okay, so there's my softball. Now I want to add text. So I'm going to click on my text tool, and it's going to open up my text dialog box. And I'm going to type the text I want, St. Clair, St. period, Clair, sorry. And then I'm going to click on my font drop down, and I can go in and choose from a variety of fonts. I don't remember exactly which one we used, but there's a ton of fonts in here you can pick from. We pick something kind of simple. One of these. I don't remember. So let's say it was this one. We'll click open. And once we choose our font, it's going to give us a preview of what that's going to look like in our window over here. So we can see St. Clair. Now I chose to do that in a bridge. So I want to add an effect to this. And if I just click on add effect, it'll open up my dialog box again, and I'll be in my effects library. And I want to go into envelope. And I want to choose this one because this is the double bridge that I'm looking for. Can open that, and it's going to change that, and I'm going to click OK, and that's going to add it to my page. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do my text again because I'm going to add the text for Falcons. I'm going to go through the same steps. Type my text, choose my font, add my effect, okay. Now I thought the ball needed to be bigger, so I'm going to make the ball a little bit bigger so it fills up more of the space. And move this down. And then the last step that we did was we're just going to center it. So I'm going to put a box around everything and go to my arrange menu, and then I'm just going to click on center, and that's just going to make sure everything's centered. And now this is 12 by 12. You can see down here. Here's my size. And obviously we did a couple different sizes. For the water bottle, we sized it down to about 4 inches. And for the bag, we sized it down to about 8. So if I needed to change my size, I could just type my width to 8 inches here, and it will proportionately size it down for me. And now I have something that's, and then if you want to add the name into the center of the ball for the person's name or the person's number, that's a simple step. You can just go back, and we're going to do another text. Oops, we'll do all caps. We did Becky. And I just picked a real simple font for that one. And then once that adds to the page, then we can just make that, we're going to have to make that smaller because it's going to be too big. So we're just going to size it down, probably a little bit more even. And then we'll move it. We'll move it over and put it in our bowl. The slow way, because for some reason it's not working the fast way.
And the slow way is using your arrow keys.
Right. It's like watching paint dry. And it's too big, so we'll just make it a little bit smaller. And then, ta-da. There's your Becky.
There you go.
Okay. Pretty easy. Okay. Let me turn it back over to you.
Sure.
Why isn't, oh. There you go.
There you go. Okay. So we do have a quiz for today. I don't know if, Allison, you want to address some of the questions before we give our little quiz, unless you want to do it afterwards.
Yeah, let's do it after so
okay.
I can have a chance to read through these.
To read, okay. So here's the quiz for today, and I wanted it to be extremely, extremely hard. So it is. No, it's not. It's really not. But we have the water bottle that we're going to give away that we decorated, the bat bag. Love that bat bag. The visor that we decorated, and the fuchsia uniform, the top and the bottom. And we want to give these to you because we want you to use them as display items for, gaining business and gaining more customers if you could show them, what you can do. So here is today's question, the quiz. How many innings are in a baseball game? So everyone type
Peggy,
in the
did you
answer.
show your screen?
Am I showing my screen? And my screen's not there?
I don't see it, but maybe everyone else is. It's just not me.
Oh. Can people, are they saying they can see my screen?
I'm getting lots of answers. I'm getting lots of answers.
Oh, then they can see my screen.
Okay, so must just be me.
I hope everyone can see my screen. So how many innings are in a baseball game? And when they start slowing down, coming in, Allison, let me know, and then I'll post the answer up there.
Yeah, they cannot see your screen either.
They can't see my screen. Okay, so let's...
No, they're all typing the answers, but they're not. There we go. Now we can see your screen.
Okay. Does everyone see it? You see it now?
Yes.
Okay.
Now we're getting a couple more answers.
So okay.
Okay. Okay, looks like we're pretty good.
And the answer to that is... The answer is 9. There's 9 innings in a baseball game. So if you've got 9, you've got the correct answer. And then Allison will tell us who the winners of today's quiz is, and then we'll answer some of your questions. So we had 4 winners, and that would be for the visor, the bat bag, the water bottle, and the actual uniform, the softball uniform.
How many winners do you need?
4 winners.
4 winners. Okay, here we go. Let's see.
They had to answer 9.
Number 1 is Robin Shipe.
Okay. Congratulations, Robin.
Number 2 is Janet Fong.
Janet.
Fong. F-O-N-G.
Okay. Congratulations, Janet.
Number 3 will be Corla Wesley.
Corla Wesley. Congratulations, Corla. And the last one, the person that's going to win the complete uniform.
Sorry. I keep clicking, but they're either the wrong answer or they couldn't see your screen. Oh. Okay, Bob Merhar.
Bob Merhar. Okay, Bob, congratulations. And we will get this out for you. Today is Tuesday. We ship everything out on Friday, so you should have it sometime next week. Well, good. And we went over our time. We try not to, but gosh, we could have did baseball for 3 hours and not got through everything. But we want to thank everyone for attending. Our next 2 webinars, starting this Thursday and going into next week, we're going to be talking about how to decorate on split button-down uniforms and zipper front. So anything that has a split in the front. People shy away from decorating these types of garments, but we're going to show you some tips and how easy really it is to do. So hopefully you'll join us this Thursday and next week also. And Allison, I thank you very much. And we thank everyone for attending, and we will talk to you later.